I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Dragons of Starfall. Tonight, we are rejoining the party as they have gained an audience with the Dwarven King under the Kar-Kisden Mountains, and they are with Goldrucky Goldmane, a champion of the dwarven mountain dwarven peoples, the clans here under the mountain are almost completely uh, decimated even now, so long after the wars with the elves, and yet their population has never fully recovered. It's due to a number of factors, but regardless, you're looking at a once mighty kingdom that has fallen into disrepair and neglect due to simply not having enough uh, people. Oh, well, dwarves. Dwarves are people too. Um, but by by not having enough hands to complete all of the work, a lot of the infrastructure has begun to crumble and um, just be, like I said, disrepair. And um, even so, it's like looking at uh, what it must have been like to look at the tombs of the pharaohs when they were first opened. Like certainly there was dust and decay and damage and all of that, but also just a glorious treasure that is impossible to really imagine except for like the fantasies of movies like National Treasure or um, the Hobbit with Smaug's treasure. Like when you see a movie like that and you see treasure laid out before you, Um, you know, in a fantasy setting, that's really the only way to picture and describe the sheer luxury and um, opulence of the dwarven kingdoms before the fall of their clan caused, everything to become kind of less glorious, less lustrous. And so, although the shine is not there, the gold underneath remains. And um, you if any of you have an inclination towards, you know, liking the shiny, as the nomenclature, goes, um, then this place is, basically a candy store. It's just everywhere you look, there's a jewel encrusted rack of shields with the symbols of the various clans and all of that on them, or uh, pillars covered in gold. And as you walk further and further into the hall, following Goldrucky, um, you see braziers,
Razors.
braziers of like not fire, because they don't need the total fire, but like almost um cooled lava. Like it's not lava that's just melting everything, but it flows up and through the floor system into these special braziers that hold this, and it provides a low ambient heat as well as light. And with that, you see um, the the totality of the dwarven throne before you, and it rises up from the ground some 15 feet into the air, and on all sides is emblazoned with runes that glow with the lava that flows through these chambers, keeping everything warm. You hear a deep, booming dwarven voice. Who enters my hall? And Goldrucky calls out and says that he has returned from his mission, O great king, the master of forges, the shaper of metal, the minter of coins, and he has brought forth the ancient dwarven crown that was stolen from them so many centuries ago, and presents it. A guard comes forward and takes the crown and walks it up the steps to the king, who examines it and says, "Well, hero, You have fared well on your quest, and despite the delay, have proven yourself worthy of the trust that was placed in you. Therefore, you may take your reward. And he kind of claps his hands, and a couple of more dwarven guards come walking out from a side chamber that you didn't even notice the door. It was so seamlessly carved into the rest of the wall and everything that when the door opens to this side chamber, like you didn't even realize that there was anything over there. And uh, out come these two dwarven guards laboring, trying to carry a very heavy chest that is set in front of Goldrucky, and they open it, and inside, like with even the low light of the hot lava in the braziers, um, the twinkling of the many gemstones and um, coins and you know precious metals and everything that fill this huge chest. I mean, dwarves are rather stout and strong, and the ones picked for guards even more so. And um,
Can I make a medicine check on the king? See if I
uh,
can guess his age and his health.
uh, yeah. Well, so it wouldn't be medicine though. Like it would just be like either a general knowledge of like what you know about dwarves, or possibly insight if you can, you know, uh,
We'll go with
talk to
insight.
him and all of that. So
Okay, yeah, I'll try insight just to see if I can get a gauge on his health from his voice and just general
yeah,
well-being.
yeah,
So they approached with the treasure, right?
yes. And the king, um, it's really hard to say with certainty which century he's in, but he is definitely over a century old. He could be 100, he could be 300. It's um, one of those things where once a dwarf reaches the age where his beard turns completely white like this dwarf's, um, that aside from them being so old that their hair is starting to fall out, and they're no longer standing straight and tall and proud and strong and all of that, then you can guess that they're near the end of their like 500-ish year lifespan. um, but a lot like uh, dragons and um, some other very long-lived races, um, the 500-ish year lifespan is kind of like a generalization and not some hard and fast limit. Just like with humans, some people, give out well before they're even into their 70s, and others live to be 115. So there's a pretty big discrepancy, in human lifespan, just because the what is it, like 87 years or whatever now, so whatever the quote unquote life expectancy of a human is, like, everybody just falls within that range and can vary pretty greatly. So when you're talking about a 500 year, average, median, whatever you would call it, um, you know, there's dwarves who've lived close to 1,000. So it just he's definitely an old dwarf. If you had to put a number on it, you would say, uh, you know, 150 to 250 years.
Okay.
And then Arn, did you have questions about this treasure that has been laid at at Gold Rucky's feet, but like you guys are right there with him, so your feet.
No, I just wanted to see how what Goroki would say next after he brings out the treasure.
Well, Gold Rucky says, "My king, I am most grateful for this reward, but serving the Silverbeard clan has been my privilege and my honor for these last, 77 years of my life. And I am bound to keep serving you, and so therefore I ask that my companions who faithfully helped me recover this crown for you be given an appropriate reward, and have it be taken out of what you would have given me, as their just compensation." And so the king, his name, as you probably guessed, is Silverbeard. Um, and he looks down and he says, "Is this what you wish, Goldmane?" And he says, "Yes, my king." And um, he says, "Very well. You may divide the treasure as you see fit amongst yourselves." And so, um, you guys are not under any obligation to like split the treasure right here and now, but basically, like, Gold Rucky will take you back and split all the treasure when you guys are ready.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. Uh, Lady Angelica will have Sir Thomas step forward and say, "Wise King, we have another request to make. The Myconids were incredibly helpful in getting us the crown back to you, and they are now in certain danger as they have lost some of their protectors. We hope that you will give them shelter, and they may be able to, in exchange, they may be able to provide manpower and labor to help you maintain your amazing kingdom.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll for your persuasion.
Oh, you got persuasion. Come on. Oh,
Oh my God! There, it's too late. I blew it. I was going to use inspiration because I want to save the
okay.
Marconids, but I blew it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Marconids, you're going to die.
That was really an assist, right?
Right. Yeah.
That that one is basically genocide.
So basically the way that this happens here is the king is slightly, not enough so that it's going to like greatly affect everybody, but slightly offended that this bodyguard, this knight, steps forward to speak to him directly, the king. He can see from your bearing that Arn or Lady Angelica or even, Riggs in his powdered wig, he may look a little crazy, but to the dwarves, they see the powdered wig, they see the fancy, clothing, and, they think eccentric, rich, human, noble or whatever. And of course, Arn, puts off not just a noble, but angelic, divine, presence. And Lady Angelica has the bearing and demeanor and looks of nobility. And Electo's bald. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's all he.
so,
That's fine. So I can So when I see the way that he kind of like, I guess tweaks his head at Sir Thomas, I kind of step in and I say, I apologize, my king. You have to understand that we are all equal in this group. All work alongside each other to. We all worked alongside each other to retrieve your crown. In fact,
Ew, are you guys communists?
socialists.
Oh, gross. We're dwarves. We're like hardcore, like, uh, monarchy here.
Yeah, well, these people are more my family than my lackeys.
Uh,
Mm.
Rick, or sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, he was just grunting at that.
Rick, Riggs kind of steps up and he goes, "Please excuse my friend. You look like a very wise man who's been around for a long time, and as you know, to survive so long, you have to be pretty tough and also wise. And the people we're asking to, or the spores that we're asking to bring here, are just as old and wise, and I think it could be mutually beneficial. And excuse his rudeness. I just ask you to consider it, because I think it would help you."
Sir Thomas will also say, I apologize that I spoke out of turn and failed to present my lady Angelica. Unfortunately, she is unable to speak for herself, so I speak for her.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, let's see. So we've got an explanation, two apologies, and some extra persuasion. So let's go with um, Riggs will get the persuasion roll, and,
Okay.
and um, Sir Thomas, uh, you're not lying to him So I guess, yeah, we'll just leave Riggs to roll his persuasion.
Okay. I'll use my point of inspiration to be sure.
You got
Inspire
this. You
that.
got this.
And I have advantage clicked, and I will roll. Wish me luck, guys.
We need a good one. Yes.
Yay.
Hey, there you go. All right. So by uh stepping up and quickly Arn and Riggs kind of smooth things over, and Sir Thomas apologizes, and that gives Riggs just enough, uh, you know, slack or, whatever with the king, who looks down at the crown in his hands and says, "You have brought me a mighty gift. A, well, I guess he wouldn't call it a gift, um, since it's his. But
Yeah.
you have brought back one of my precious one of my most valued artifacts, and done so with little to no promise of reward, certainly not from myself. And whatever Gold Rucky, may or may not have promised you, certainly he didn't, you know, know exactly what you guys would be granted or not. And so, still you have brought me my crown, and because it is such a valuable piece of artifice, I am not showing it, but like I'm about as giddy as a dwarf gets right now. So this is all, of course, paraphrased and giving you guys a little bit of insight into what what is actually going on inside his brain. Not that you're psychic per se, other than Lady Angelica, but that um, you just can kind of piece together, you know, as he looks down at the crown and, tells you that he's willing to, hear you out and all of that. You can tell that he's just very happy to have this crown back. And you
I
guys,
have an idea, guys. Why don't we just let it sit and meet him for dinner and then discuss it over like food or something rather than just drop it on him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We can go pull away and sort out the treasure with the gold rookie, and then
Mhm.
figure out what we want to do next.
Hopefully, he invites us to some dinner or something. I don't know.
And if not, we also have to figure out how to get out of here still. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask somebody, not the king, of how to get out of here.
yeah,
well, the king, uh, Silverbeard, he says, "Of course, we shall discuss further tonight as we feast. Gold Rucky is one of our champions. He's a hero of the Silverbeard clan and the dwarves of Kar Kisden, and he has slain many a mountain troll or driven off countless, you know, uh, Umber Hulks and Arumviraxes, and he has even faced down the deadly wyvern. And so for him to go and be gone for, what did I say, like 3 years? 7?
See, I thought you said 7 years, but
7 years, yeah. I knew it was a prime number. So because I always pick a prime number. But anyway, so like, yeah, 7 years. I mean, he's been gone, and to return after so long, and to return successfully, that's a cause for celebration. And so uh, we are going to feast in the grand hall tonight, and my dwarven entourage is going to go clean it up and get it all spit shined and polished, so that all of the dwarves of Kar Kisden can witness as the crown is placed upon my mane of silver hair uh, once again.
It brings us great gratitude to return your item to you, King Dwarf.
And Riggs turns to the group and goes, I've always respected dwarves. They never look down on anyone.
except gnomes. Yeah, let's go divvy up the gold, and we'll come back for dinner.
Yeah, so Gold Rucky uh, says, "Why don't you give me a hand with this?"
How much? How much does the whole thing weigh?
Probably close to 500-600 pounds.
I'll just telekinesis it around. I think I get 900. So
I can lift or carry as a creature that's large size, so I have double whatever my strength is. Quite a bit, like 700 pounds or something.
I'm pretty strong too, so we can carry
yeah,
it.
we'll get it there.
All right. Well,
1,000 pounds. I can lift 1,000 pounds.
well, I,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm just grabbing onto one of these handles and waiting for one of you strong, tall folk to grab onto the other one.
So since I'm kind of like an angel, can I try to pick it up by myself with my supernatural strength, and maybe roll like a strength check or something?
Well, you don't have to roll a strength check. It's just either within your carrying capacity or it's not. What's your carrying capacity?
Okay, my maximum is 600 to push, drag, or lift
Push, drag, or lift. So you could lift it.
with the help of Lady Angelica's mind.
Yeah, Lady Angelica probably sees you struggling, and I don't want to talk for you. So, are you willing to, give
Yeah,
him a hand, or do you just watch him struggle?
no, I'll telekinesis it up and sort of like I can do that without using hand gestures or speaking. So I'll just silently lift it with my brain and help him not look like a fool.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Is the king still there?
Well, he's on his throne. He's
Mm-hmm.
watching you guys. As
Walk out.
Arn goes and picks this up, and uh, he says, "Oh, quite the strong warrior you have found here, Gold Rucky."
Man of the North, and I nod my head.
And he says, Northmen, they're always very powerful. And so
And
with
humble.
yeah, and so with that, Gold Rucky kind of leads you off through the halls and past all manner of chambers, and some of them are like half collapsed and covered in dust, and others are like full on dorms that have you know been recently used and cleaned and all of that, so you can easily see that the dwarves try to keep up with everything as best they can, but some of these places are just, beyond their capabilities of repairing and keeping up with right now. And so Gold Rucky leads you, back past like all of the regular dorms until you reach a place where um, there's like uh, the plateau cities in Nevada or Arizona or whatever, um, where they're built into the cliffs like that.
Abel
Uh,
Mesa in Colorado.
yeah, and so back here, past all the rest of the chambers, there's like a series of suites, I guess you could call them, carved into the side of the wall, and like each of them is as large as one of the main dormitories, but like set aside for just one of the champions. And so Gold Rucky kind of leads you guys to his suite carved into the face of the wall here, so it's like some 3 stories up, and you guys got to climb this winding staircase that takes you up the side of the cliff until you reach um, his third floor penthouse suite that is set aside for the greatest champions that the Silverbeard clan, the dwarves of Car Kisden, you know, have produced. And so, stepping inside, you notice right away that dwarven luxury is not about comfort and down pillows and blankets and mattresses and all of that. Instead, he has a lot of hard stone and like covered in gemstones and precious metals furnishings. So like his table is marble, uh, and his chairs are uh, gold covered granite, and his bed is just like a slab of gold, and all of this is like in a room that is all made out of quartz marble, where it's got the nice marble walls, but then the veins of quartz running through it, and it's all just very very pretty and all of that, but almost a little cold and off-putting and uncomfortable.
Electo is visibly disappointed when he sees the bed.
Good luck rearranging the furniture.
Upon seeing your disappointment, Goldrucky says, "Not to worry, my friend. I have traveled to the surface many times and have always tried to learn the ways of the surface dwellers, you know, as best I could." And he kind of goes into a closet area and comes out holding piles of fur blankets from like cave bears and uh, cave lions and um, just all manner of creatures that they would manage to come across and have to deal with. And so he's got not, a comfortable bed, but at least a comfortable nest of fur blankets and, you know, coverings, uh, things to lay on. So you guys can each set up like three furs to lay on plus have a fur to cover up with since it gets chilly here under the mountain. Even though the lava helps, it just keeps it from being like bitter cold. So it's
I'll
still
give mine to Lady Angelica. I have no use for the blankets. I'll allow her to have the extras.
yeah. So you guys can go ahead and role play that out a little, and we'll pick back up with Gold Rucky and everything after you guys do the do that. So Soulforge, go ahead. What do you do?
Sorry, one sec. There's a printer going off next to me, so I had to move positions when I was sitting. So once everybody's got settled in, I'll just take the extra furs and drape them over Lady Angelica. And then I'll suggest that perhaps we should uh, visit the Myconids if we have time. Could we reach them and get back?
I would rather ask the dwarfs to go get them, but let's find out that they can be safe first before we
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
out and get them. Let's get the treasure. Did I miss getting the treasure sorted out, or?
No, we just arrived in this room in this place
Yeah.
that we're so we I put the treasure on the floor in like this like main area that we have and kind of crack my back and I say, "So what do we got here?" And then I open the chest.
Yeah. So opening it up, you can see that inside there's just a plethora of um, gems. Not just like it's one thing to say that there's rubies and emeralds and diamonds and sapphires, but uh, every kind of cut. You've got your square cuts and your princess cuts and your oval cuts, and you know the dwarves are master gemologists on top of everything else, and so their gem cutting skills are so no, you're fine, Soulforge. And so when you see some of these gems, it's beyond just oh yep, that's a ruby. It's like a ruby putting off more light and shining from every facet than you've ever seen, and it is um, repeated over and over again with all the different kinds of gemstones that are present here. Um, what? Go ahead.
Sorry. I didn't mean to click.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know, so I wanted to make sure that you felt free to speak. But on top of all of the gems, though, is like coinage. So much coinage that um, it dates back past like this dwarven king's portrait on the coins, past his father and his grandfather, and there's like coins that are clearly from before his time, and there's I think 6,000 is what it comes to for like around 600 pounds.
Okay, so what you're saying is we have just a ton of gems, and then so just the payment is in all gems and like coins that are minted beyond our like known history.
Yeah, well, I mean, some are relatively new, but others are very, very old.
So just a bunch of cash, baby. That's sick. That's what we needed anyway.
Yeah, and
Throw that in the bag of holding.
and the dwarves have like multiple sizes of coins. So like just because it's like, however many gold coins, like some of them are like 100 gold coin like blocks.
Well, I'm not going to take any of the treasure, so you guys may take whatever would have been my share.
We could just put it in the party loot
Yeah.
and then have it in the bag of holding.
Yeah, we'll just all work from it later.
So Gold Rucky says, "You guys saved me when I was caged up. You saved me again by, you know, having the crown and allowing me to appear the hero, and you know I will do whatever it takes to repay this debt to you, and that starts with, I'm a rich dwarf, and as a champion of the Silverbeard clan and the dwarves of Kar Kisden, I'm well set, so please take everything, and yeah, so I don't want to share."
Don't mind if we do.
Yeah, we'll find a good home for it. Don't worry.
Riggs just grabs some gems and throws them up in the air and says, "We're rich."
Yeah, and as you do that, Goldrucky is like, "Are you crazy? You're gonna break those precious gems."
Oh, stop! I'm just playing, little fella.
We'll start gently packing them away.
Scoop handfuls into the bag of holding.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we need to figure out at this dinner that we're going to go to, a if the Myconids can. I don't know if they can stay here, but maybe if they can help clear out an area for the Myconids. I don't know if that's a lot to ask, but try to figure that out, and then also ask how to get out of here um, to someone, and then go anywhere from the surface.
Or if there are any portals down here, I would like to know if they know of any like portal points that we have not already discovered in this area.
I'm gonna guess they're not, because those were elven portals. We might want to keep it
Well,
on the
but who
down
knows?
low. We have that.
So,
We can ask, but
Oh.
yeah.
I mean, I don't have to tell them we found other ones. I could just say that's my like area of interest in my magical studies. So everywhere I go, I ask them if they have any, knowledge of like, travel. Like I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but of like portals or interplanar travel, anything like that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about what I wanted to ask. Whenever we do end up meeting up with maybe not the king, but just anybody that can help us with information.
Yeah, well, and so we got to figure out a reason we're headed to Al Qadim next. But
Oh,
anyway, well, yeah, we'll not jump ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping the DM hooks us into that because Electo, like me as a player, is interested in going. Electo as a character is still very much not necessarily on board with going. So there has to be some type of hook other than
Yeah, no,
we
very
think
fair.
maybe we want to go back.
Good
Oh,
call.
yeah, no, totally. I kind of, you know, hint around at like, what you guys want to do so that I can, figure out how to, give you the right impetus to go where you want to go.
Sounds good. Um, no,
Well,
I'm
as I
ready
said
for.
before, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, like I mentioned before, if you guys get to the surface or are in a place where I can bring in a new character, then we can go from there, and we'll just tie that into Alcadine.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't have to make it. It all
Yeah,
happens. It
yeah,
happens.
yeah. No
Let's
worries,
worry
no
about
worries,
dinner.
guys. That's my job. I'll get you guys the right hooks. You just right now, like all we're doing is getting any role play before dinner and all that needs to be discussed, any plans, and then we will you know go with your kingly conversation over dinner.
Yeah, let's try dinner, and hopefully that'll get us the myconids taken care of.
All right, so the treasure, um, the gems, you'd have to like barter to like sell them and everything, but there's approximately 10,000 gold pieces worth of gems. Now again, you could end up with more or less than that based on who you sell to, but then an additional 6,000 uh,
Gold.
gold pieces worth of coinage.
Not bad.
Sick. How do we put that in this party thing, or should I just put it on one of us? Because I'm not sure how to edit this party sheet here.
Hmm. Well, here, let me help with that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, just
I'm gonna have to delete some of this stuff if you guys don't grab it up. So
Yeah, that
any of that stuff in there that anybody wants, go ahead and grab that up. Otherwise,
wasn't the dancing greatsword was Soul Forges, right? That should be on his thing.
No, I never took it because I didn't really see myself using it because it takes an action to get it out there, and I can do more damage. I left it in the party inventory.
okay. I can scoop it up if it needs to get out of there.
Well, so like my atlas is in here. How do I move that? Oh, wrong thing. I was looking at the wrong thing. Never mind. We're good.
all right, there you go.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. It's basically a free spell slot on the whatever weapon, the
Spiritual weapon.
spirit
Yeah.
weapon. Yeah,
Yeah. So I
it's
mean,
a,
I can take it. I just don't know if it takes
yeah, but it's a
a
bonus
thing.
action, is all it says.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to throw it away, so I can take it.
No,
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of those kind of weapons. Like I could take spiritual weapon too to do kind of the same thing. I just
How do I
not
claim it?
really.
yeah, but it's a spell slot, so that way you wouldn't need to use the spell slot or the concentration for it. Or actually, spirit weapon doesn't require concentration. Anyway, Arn can use it, and that all works out fine.
All right, got it. No, but yeah. Otherwise, I kind of just want. The main thing I'm focused on right now is getting these myconids a place
Yeah,
to stay because we kind of ruined their whole thing down there. So that's my
yeah.
main
No,
mission.
we
That's
boned
what I
that
need
up.
to do. So yeah, let's go to the dinner. I'm ready. I clean up. I only wear armor. I don't really have any nice clothes, so I just wear my armor, and I take my sword. with me, as that's what you do when you're a knight, right? Do you take your sword places? I hope so. I do, because I'm weird like that. So
Yes,
I'm
and
ready to go.
here in the Dwarven Kingdom, it's not like such a big deal.
All right then.
So as you guys are entering the Grand Hall, the first thing that you notice is that unlike the majority of the rest of the Dwarven Hall here, the Grand Hall is a very um, intimate. It's not the vaulted ceilings and huge caverns that the rest of the Dwarven halls are. And instead, um, this is more of a quote unquote normal sized room with, maybe 12-foot ceilings and um, it's approximately 100 feet long by like 25 feet wide, and um, all down its center is one huge long table, and it appears to be carved out of the volcanic rock itself. The whole table is just like carved out of the mountain right here in this chamber, and then there are seats all around it, and each of the seats is like covered in a different precious metal and gems, starting with the one end where you guys are at, like silver and um, opals and moonstones and things like that, and continuing until you get to the king's seat at the head of the table, which, by the time you get closer and closer there, the chairs are covered in, gold, platinum, and the king's throne chair itself is covered in a combination of mithril and gold and all of the most precious gemstones, and it's set about to give the uh, effect of like a constant aura of light um, surrounding the king from whatever you know little bit of light comes from the braziers. Again, still um, it just shines off of all of the gems behind his head so that it looks like he's got a spotlight, you know, type of effect behind him, like he's some sort of rock star performing a show or something. And you notice that although this is not nearly all of the dwarves, here under Karkisden, you notice that like many of them are here and represented from the Silverbeard clan, with their, shocks of white silver hair, uh, to the gold manes, with their golden beards and curls. Um, there's uh, the the Onyx Forge clan that has black hair, and so like a bunch of different types of dwarves are gathered here. Um, they're all mountain dwarves, but like they each have like clan features that like separate them uh, from each other, and so they all have their representatives here at this feast. And one thing that you guys will notice, right away, is that there is a trio of dark gray skinned, bald dwarves with shocking white beards, and they all look uh, just a little off from like the rest of the dwarves.
Are they like very old looking dwarves?
No, they're uh, Duriger.
Even the Durger hang out here?
Well, there is a small clan of Duriger who managed to escape the Underdark and sought refuge here.
All right. Are there seats left open for us?
Yes.
All right. I'll walk
So
towards it.
Gold Rucky walks towards the head of the table. You guys are not seated like next to the king or anything like that, but there's like a tier down where Gold Rucky's clan has been seated, and there's um, open chairs for all of you there.
All right. I take a seat and I start eating whatever's on the table. And I greet myself to everybody around me. And I say, hello, my name is Arn.
Um, so as you sit down, the king stands up and he says, "This is a joyous occasion and one that we must celebrate with feasting and um, storytelling, and perhaps we shall make ourselves drunk. But
Perhaps.
but regardless, the great surprise will come at the end of the meal." And so you guys are given ample opportunity and food, to fill yourselves many times over, because the dwarves, they do not uh, have um, as fertile of like ground to grow crops and all of that, but hunting is hunting. And even under the mountain here, there are animals that are good eating. And so there is a very protein rich meal, prepared, but the meat is broken up mostly with some kind of mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Hey, I like mushrooms.
Oh no, they ate.
They
Well,
might kind of
different
eat
things.
mushrooms too. So,
Hmm. It's all right.
Yeah, and
uh,
Cave veggies.
and so do you guys, you know, start talking to anyone, the king, the people
Oh
around you,
yeah,
or yeah,
just have a
Arn
quick chat.
introduced himself, and others introduced themselves to you, but anything more like specific than that?
Uh, I don't know. Riggs will stand up and say, uh, "Cheers to you, King, for your great hospitality, and I hope this turns into a long friendship." And he raises his mug and drinks a bunch.
Yeah, and so this is dwarven ale. This is, not that frou frou, elven, or not even elven, probably Alquidamese wines that you've been drinking at Waterran and Bohemia, um, Binhemia. Uh, so this is some, Canadian beer compared to American beer. It's just better, higher,
Hmm.
concentration and all of that. And so as you drink it down, um, you're not there yet, but you know that if you continue to drink, like you're gonna end up having to roll and try to fight the effects. Um, so in character, you would be like, oh, I'm kind of feeling a buzz off of one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, Riggs goes, "Hey guys, this is great. You should drink a bunch with me. Come on."
I'll drink to that, and I raise the mug, and I look at the other dwarves.
uh,
Do we all drink?
Angelica will sip lightly.
Yeah, and all of the dwarves, like upon hearing,
I think you cut out.
oh,
Yeah.
did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Upon hearing Riggs's toast, they all raise their mugs and drink.
Huzzah! Or I don't know what they say.
That's a gnome thing.
Sorry. So I'm like I'm just chit chatting the dwarves around me, just trying to make myself like I'm introducing myself to them, talking about um that we killed like this dragon in the sewer, and we killed a dragon in the cave actually, and kind of up near the surface, and I'm just kind of like showboating to them, kind of showing them cool things.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Do you want to like roll for performance? I'm not sure what
No,
what.
I'm just making conversation, just sharing stories with them, just trying to make friends. That way, I'm not just some dude asking for things when I end up asking for something.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and so your stories are well received, especially um, any of the more.
Cut out again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Especially any of the more like, elaborate action-based ones that you may have. These are dwarves. They do love a good war story.
Yeah, I once saw an elf and I punched him in the face. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, that's my favorite story. It was such a great ending.
I know I saved that best one for the last.
Are the gray dwarves still there?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to speak to them just to make conversation.
Okay.
You appear to be far travelers. Where have you come from? Have you traveled far to visit these dwarves and their king?
Wait,
Or do
what?
they live here now? Do they live here now?
Yeah, yeah. They've escaped from the Underdark where they were, you know, persecuted and all that, and the Silverbeard clan, the dwarves of Karkisden, have given them a home, even though they're, you know, gray dwarves and they don't quite fit in. Like they recognize that they're dwarves and, you know, they're dwarves in need, and so they gave them shelter and a place to live, and now they've basically become a part of the dwarves of Karkisden, and they're just another one of the clans, you know.
That's really interesting. I'd like to see where, if possible, to find out where you're from. I might visit.
Oh yeah, we're from the Underdark. We'll tell you, you know, everything you want to know. What do you want to know?
I'm just going to gather information for when Soulforge leaves because he's going. He has a direction to head east, so I want to find out if they know of any Underdark caves that might lead that direction.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got you know, the hookup when it comes to maps and you know, all of that. Like we can show you what's what and what's where and all of that.
Like perhaps my friends will allow me to hire some dwarven warriors to travel with me.
Uh, which friends?
What's going on?
The guys with the gold, maybe perhaps we can pay you and you can take me there when it's my time to leave.
Oh yeah, I mean I like money.
I'm never sure how that works, but I believe that there may be some available.
Yeah, well if you've got money, like I like money.
Well, that's good. That's cool. Okay.
So yeah, you know, basically, if you want information on the Underdark, if you want to know how to get places, if you want guides, like yeah, these guys are your gray dwarf guys.
They're very interesting species as well, dwarves. They're kind of unique.
You cut out just a little bit there at first. What was that first part?
Just saying, I find these dwarves very unique among their
Yes,
kind.
yes, yes, yes. Is everybody here familiar with the Durger, the Grey Dwarves?
The Underdark ones, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know much about them, but
Oh, here. I'll give you a little um, you know, rundown on them, uh, including a picture so that you can get a better idea. All right. So the Durger or Grey Dwarves are dwarves who went so far underground um, that they ended up in the Underdark, not just under the mountains. And down there, they took on physiological changes, and so um, now they have basically no hair on their heads, dark gray skin, and like pure white hair for their beards and everything. Now, they are often in most games like an evil race. But if you guys talk to them, as I'm sure Soulforge is, they'll tell you that the history of their race goes like this. They went deep underground to escape the wars and everything that was going on, and were captured and enslaved by the Underdark races, which um, includes the Mind Flayers. And so their clan managed to escape, and they made their way, to them, this is the surface. They made their way to the surface and were taken in by these dwarves. Um, so yeah, they're not evil, but they have spent a lot of time enslaved to evil races, so they don't always have the most like accurate moral compass.
Okay. So Riggs would know all this.
No, no. But you guys would be learning it as Soulforge is talking to them.
Okay.
And so, they're very open, or you know, at least supposedly, so uh to where they're telling you a lot, whether it's truthful or not, you guys wouldn't necessarily know, but um, you know, they're very uh, open with with their giving of information to you, accuracy uh, aside.
Okay.
I'm not
So
saying they are lying. I'm just pointing out that you guys don't know.
yeah. Uh I was gonna go back to kind of like my area, what I was doing. Um so I am talking to some doors around me, and I just kind of mention like, do you guys, how do you guys feel about the other creatures that live in this cave ecosystem you guys going on down here?
Oh, the other creatures, like the Umber Hulks and the Arumviraxes and the fire mephits and the smoke mephits and the yeah, they all stink.
I think I was kind of more asking about maybe the myconids. Do you know of the species?
Oh, the mushroom people. Yeah, they're annoying, silent little creepers.
They have kind souls, those mushroom people.
Uh, yeah, kind souls and poisonous spores.
Have you ever breathed in a spore?
No, we have like defenses in place to keep them away.
Would you like to hear another story?
Of course.
uh I would say a few months ago we entered this cave, uh originally entering from the dwarven hold of, what's the other dwarven city called? I'm forgetting it right now.
Golgashmere?
Golgusmire, yeah.
Yeah. So entering the hold of Golgashmire, we went far, far down into this cave, and we encountered these myconids, and we were in of need of help. We were exhausted after fighting many magma creatures and spiders, and the beasts that you named before, the Umberhulks, but the Myconids, when meeting us, instead of attacking us or being suspicious of us, they immediately, uh, at least from my perspective, wanted to talk to us. And I, when they gave me the opportunity to breathe in the spores, I took a breath, and uh, when I did, it immediately allowed the Myconids to be able to communicate with me through their thoughts. And they explained to me of how much they valued all life in the caves, and really opened my eyes to what the importance of every creature is down here. And you can learn some really valuable lessons from those creepy weirdos.
Huh.
I know it sounds far fetched, but they don't try to poison. In fact, they uh, this whole time they were guarding off uh, foul intentioned creatures from deeper in their cave. They were dedicated to defending this well of necrotic energy with the help of two large myconid creatures. They were called glow mushrooms. Unfortunately, in our travel, we accidentally slayed one of the creatures, which threw off the balance in their cave, and um, we were, we're guests of the king, and um, I was just wondering. I just wanted to ask if you guys knew of any safe areas in this cave that aren't inhabited by anything that I might be able to lead these creatures to.
Yeah. Hmm.
I know it seems like a lot, but I'm just wondering, just out of curiosity, if there's anything like that down here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there definitely is. They're just, like kind of nervous about um agreeing to anything like that with the king, right there.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not asking for the king. I'm just asking them, like these guys, just like some dudes. Like, do you guys know of any like secret places that are pretty peaceful down here?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, but basically like if
They want the king's buy-in.
yeah,
yeah, that's true. They don't want to say yes without asking the guy.
right, like they're not in charge. So if
Okay,
they give you the go ahead or whatever, and then the king's like, "What? I don't want those mushroom
of
freaks
course.
anywhere near," like then that could be a problem for them.
Yeah, I was just kind of letting them know that those guys are good creatures. It's not poison. They're just trying to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah,
And then,
yeah.
okay, we can move along.
Oh
Just role
no,
playing.
no, no, no. I like that. I just, you know, um, wasn't sure, like how far they'd be willing to like go without, the king being on board with that. But if you tell them, that, you know, for sure the spores aren't poisonous and they're just trying to talk to them, like, uh, they seem to, be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And so like,
Yeah. Hopefully, when the king reveals that we brought him his crown, that they trust us a little bit more.
yeah. And so,
Yeah, the mycon.
go ahead.
Sorry, they're much like trees. If they cutting out, I got one hand here.
Yes. Oh, okay. So just to kind of keep things moving along while we wait for him
Yeah,
to
sorry,
get.
I was kept cutting off. I was just saying they're like trees, and if they're planted, they're harmless. They can't hurt anything. They'll only grow.
Well, we need to talk to the king anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, David, you sound very far away, just so you know.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I mean, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah, you were sounding like you were on speakerphone or something for a bit there. But that's much better. So the king, he's like super happy, even though like dwarves don't really show that too much. Uh, and as everybody's eating, uh, you finish up your meals, and he says, "And now I wish to reveal my big surprise." And a dwarf comes out holding the crown, and there's this whole like ceremony. Um, it's basically a ritual. Electo, you would recognize that they are basically performing a a spell ritual of sorts, and um, it's tied in with like religion. Arn, you would recognize that, and um, as they complete this chanting and swaying and everything that they were doing, they place the crown on Silverbeard's head, and when they do, suddenly like everything about him is just more extra. His beard is thicker and even more silvery white than normal, and just everything like that. Uh, and then on top of that, uh, he speaks with a voice like thaumaturgy and says, "The once and future king has now been crowned again. I swear we shall overcome these hardships that have befallen our people and reclaim our place in the world very shortly."
Electo will whisper to the group, "That doesn't sound good."
Mm, it was always a risk.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, actually, here's what I'm going to do. When you lean over, I'm going to cast the thing I meant to do. 1 second. Rary's telepathic bond, so we can all talk to each other without being overheard.
Okay.
And I can do that with the not using verbal or somatic hands or verbal stuff.
Yeah.
So we can all talk. You don't have to lean over now. You can just talk. We are free from concern of them overhearing us. But yeah, we should definitely. I don't know. He's trying to sound brave. I think I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like now time for our extermination of the elves or something. Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
there's not that many of them here, anyways. They're not going to lead an army anywhere.
Yeah, there's only like 5,000 of them.
But we should definitely talk to them about trying to save the Myconid, since they did do us a solid.
Would it be? Do you think it's dumb to bring it up here at the table?
I would
Like
say after
standing
he
up
gets
and
the
or something?
congratulations and everyone's done cheering, we can breach it near the end of the meal before he gets too drunk.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So let's go ahead and patiently wait until like everybody's done shaking his hand and like talking to him privately, and then we can kind of waltz up to him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, does anyone say anything directly to the king then, or?
Arn, you want to talk to him, or should we send Sir Thomas?
No, no, no. So after everybody's done talking, and he's just kind of leaning back in his chair, just relaxing a little bit, catching him on an off moment, I approach him and I say, uh, "King Silver, what's his name? Is Silverbeard? Right?
Yeah.
Silverbeard.
Yeah. Okay, King Silverbeard. My name is Arn Brynjolf. We met earlier. I am with Gold Rookie. It's a pleasure to be in your presence. Uh, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you value, or let me say that differently. Would you,
We've we've come to plea on behalf of the Mechanids. They're in great danger.
Okay.
Well, no,
Well.
I'm telling it to Arn. I'm
Oh.
psychically sending it to Arn as
Right.
an idea of things he can say.
Right.
okay? I say, I'm choking right now. I'm trying to think of what Arn will say. We come asking for almost a favor, uh, my king. On the way here, I said earlier we helped the Myconids helped us on our journey to get here. Um, is there anything that I may be of service to you in order to pay off this favor? I need to somehow get these Myconids a place to stay. If I don't, then I would be breaking a promise that I made to them. But I have many abilities, and I'm along with my party. We are capable of solving quite a problem for you.
I see. Well.
I don't mean to crash the celebration uh, of your recrowning of your here, but with business. But there are many uh, people displaced from homes that I need to find a new home for. I don't need anything from you. I just need an okay that I can maybe clear out a section of this cave, maybe not too far from here, and let them take root there.
Ah. Yes. Sorry, I was dealing with a little stomach issue.
You're
Uh.
clearing it throat.
So. Yeah. The king says we shall ask the lords of the clans what we will do about these mushroom uh, freaks. And so I ask you, my lords, do we wish to give shelter to these mushroom people, or do we wish to turn them away? And you guys watch as all of the dwarves, basically, you either raise your right hand in like a fist, or you hold out your left hand in like a flat palm, and that is like how they vote. And when you get, you know, the count, uh, you can see that it's basically 5-3 for the different clans. Five of the clans that are here say that they can, go ahead and do that, and three of them are heavily opposed to that. But one of them, when he sees that his side has been defeated, uh, gets pretty upset and like insistent that the Myconids should not be allowed, near the dwarven clans.
We returned your king's crown, an valuable artifact, important to all of your people. Did you return the crown? Did your house return the crown, my lord?
Oh, no, of course.
Now, shouldn't a feat of such greatness be rewarded with some sort of, I guess, rule bending
Uh, well,
Generosity.
generosity?
Sir Thomas can stand up and say that we can vouch that they mean you no harm. They're not dangerous, and we would not have been successful without their help. They gave us shelter and protection when we needed it most. So in return, we're trying to help them.
That's the nice way to say it.
Yeah. Um. So the dwarven lord, representative of his clan here, uh, he kind of storms off from the feast.
I'm sorry, my king, for speaking out like that.
Ugh, that uh, Onyx Forge, they got such hot tempers.
I'm only trying to do good. I hope you understand.
Of course, of course. Uh, you're, the reason why I'm wearing this crown again, and my gratitude uh, is yours.
I say thank you. As soon as I can, after we rest, I will work on clearing out a section of the cave for them. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll ask if we can send a message out to the Myconids that they can approach safely.
Yeah. How are you doing that?
How we either one of us can go, or we can. I'd ask to send a runner maybe, but if they prefer, I can get there pretty quickly.
I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I just need to know, which method.
Well, don't go alone. I'll go with you just so we have at least. You don't disappear.
Well, I mean, how far are they away? I mean, can we kind of like in the morning we can walk out and be like, "Hey guys,
It
they
just
said we
wouldn't
can
come into
put."
that main cave area with the ropers,
Okay,
so we have to get to at least there through that area. Yeah, that's fine. We
okay,
can go tomorrow in the morning and just try and find the scouts that should be out there and let them know that they can come.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, uh, after the feast, um, the king speaks. He gives a very, very long speech that basically um, talks about how bit by bit they're going to reclaim the glory of the old dwarven kingdom, and that this crown is the first step towards rebuilding their glory days, and all of that, and um, all of the dwarf lords, like cheer, and everybody gets up and goes to bed. Gold Rucky leads you guys, back to his suite and offers you guys all, as much bed and everything as what he can offer, and you guys get your rest on then? Yes? No? All right, you said you were going in the morning to talk to the Myconids, right? Or did I mishear that?
Yeah, in the morning we'll get some rest and go.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So I did hear that right. Okay. So you guys all get your long rest in, and Gold Rucky um, wakes you guys in the morning. He has managed to go to the dwarven armory, and before you guys woke up, and he has gotten you guys uh, dwarven helms to protect you as you go through. They protect your head from falling rocks, and they also uh, give you guys +1 on your Constitution saves as long as you wear them.
Sweet.
Here's
It's a miner's helmet.
That's a good deal. Let's go save those myconids.
Yeah, and so as you guys travel, out to the Myconids, um, you approach and see that one of them has like completely dried out and is just broken and uh, no longer a viable myconid. You know, it is dead, and you realize that they've been away, from their food and water sources and all of that, and so getting them to this new area quickly becomes like a priority.
Yep.
And so as you guys lead them through, the Myconids let you know that they're very sick and getting sicker by the day.
Is there
Could
anything?
I maybe cast create food and water and produce some stuff for them?
Well, uh, you can produce the water that would be good, and it's possible that some of the food that you create would be something for them, but uh, your create food and water creates like a ham dinner and all of that, which isn't necessarily going to do the mushrooms any good.
I could do
Just throw
like
it on the
water.
floor. Let it go bad.
Yeah, water is still good. So
Yeah, I'll cast create food and water and give them a bunch of water that they can drink so that we can get them hydrated before the journey because we need to walk back to the dwarfs.
yeah, of course. So the myconids are so you know dehydrated that they eagerly soak up as much of the water as they can, and they begin to like shake and spore you guys all over again, but this time it just provides like a happy boost to your little um like they're rejuvenated, and happy to be with you guys again. And so you begin walking back to the area, right?
Hmm.
And um, the mushrooms begin to comment on like how this area has really good algae and all of that, that this is a great area, but that they've never been allowed, to get this close to the Dwarven Kingdom without being attacked before.
We cleared some way for you.
The dwarves thought that you were trying to poison them with your spores.
Oh, we would never do that.
I know, but they didn't know, and they didn't want to take the chance to find out. So, but now they understand, and they are willing to extend their aid.
Oh, thank you, you know, skin people so much. You have truly saved us. We're gonna send one of our men back to let the rest know and prepare this area as best that we can. Um, Again, just thank you. This is more than we could have hoped for. This is not only safety, but safety in a place that we would have, colonized long ago, if not for dwarven fire.
Hopefully, there can be peace between you two, the two races going forward. We think it can be mutually beneficial to both of you. They need your help. They just are too proud to admit it now.
Hmm.
And I'm
But
sure they produce a lot of waste as living creatures. There's probably more than enough for all of you.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, they'd love to work towards peace with the dwarves, but uh, that is something that is more of a long term, kind of deal. And so, um, as you guys, leave the Myconids to like their work and go back with Goldrucky to get the map, for getting out of here, whichever, out of here way you want to go. Um, the Myconids are, you know, grateful, and so you have all earned yourselves a point of inspiration for completing that side quest, uh, little hook.
Cool.
Perfect.
Sweet.
And then Goldrucky, he says, "Well, what are your plans now?"
Suppose we're set to return to the surface and continue our quest. Oh, actually, I wanted to ask. This can be done very quickly. If there are any sort of scholars in the Dwarven Kingdom, any sort of historians.
Yeah.
Uh, Sir Thomas will ask if any of them know the name Rayleigh, if that has any meaning for them.
Ah,
Riley.
yeah, Riley.
Riley,
Uh,
sorry.
so, yeah, as you're, asking around in the archives, um, the dwarven librarian uh, goes and grabs an ancient dusty tome, and it's still chained to like this shelf thing to like keep people from just taking it and all of that, but he pulls the chain down far enough for you to see, and you know he shows you in this tome like where it says Riley, and uh by getting this tome to like spell all of this out for you. You don't have the correct symbols now for it, but you do um, you know see the uh, words, and that like gives you um, more of the code or whatever, you know.
The name.
Yeah, not not the name. Just like by seeing the tome talk about Riley and all of that, like it allows you to like figure out in context like where the symbols go a little bit like better.
Okay. So I still can't solve it yet.
No,
Okay.
but
Anyway. Yeah.
but uh, you now have like the solve within your grasp. It just comes down to like switching the words around.
Okay. Try and like roll for it with something, or
Yes.
okay. What should I roll?
Just a straight up Arcana check.
Okay, and I'm going to use a point of inspiration.
All right, so now uh as you know begin to input the words, suddenly they flash uh in front of your eyes.
That's just
And,
killing me.
yeah, and they say, hold on, I want to get this right, so I'm just pulling it up, and of course I'm probably gonna completely butcher this, but Finglui Mignafa Cthulhu Riley Waga Nagal Fatagan.
Whoa.
Gesundheit.
In his house at Riley, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming.
Hmm.
In the house of Riley.
At his house of
Oh, at his
Riley.
house of Riley. Is Riley a place?
Sounds like it.
Yes,
So is the codex open?
yes. Inside is an ancient and aberrant key that does not look like any key from this plane of existence.
Nice key.
Uh, I'll cast Identify on it.
As you cast Identify on it, um, the spell fizzles as you cast it. This cannot be identified by any like spell from this plane of existence.
Hmm. Okay, well, I will take the key and put it in my bag for now, I suppose, and wait.
Okay. And so yeah, the rest of you, are getting, well rested and fed, and Gold Rucky takes care of you, but also wants to know, where you're off to, so that he can, give you the correct um, map,
Course of action or something.
guide, like if he's gonna lead you out, or if any of his other people are gonna lead you out, like they need to know where you're going. And as always, not a railroad, so you guys can choose what you want to do, but uh might I suggest that since you're so close, perhaps you should investigate what has happened to your family, Lady Angelica, and come out by Carpathia, and then perhaps from there the DM will have some hooks to get you guys headed in a direction that you may or may not have uh, hinted or straight up told to me that you would like to head.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we can swing by, if we can go to Carpathia briefly, if no one's against that. See what's going on there.
No,
We
yeah,
can
that sounds great.
in game we will say go to Carpathia, and that will give us options. We can head anywhere we want from there pretty easily. But I wouldn't mind seeing if checking on Dragos and the rest of the family.
Yeah, because the last time we saw them, they were in a pickle, to say the
They
least.
were pretty boned, so
So in game, like Arn would say after Godoraki speaks up, well, I think above us is Karkizdan, correct? The mountain,
Yes.
which is not too far from Carpathia. We left a friend there, and we would like to know uh, maybe a little bit more about what transpired after we left. Um, Also, our friend here, Lady Angelica, is from there, so we wouldn't mind swinging by and then figuring out where to go from there.
Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. Well, we shall definitely, uh, you know, be able to do that. And so, uh, I just need to um get my gear together, and we'll head off.
You're coming with us. Oh, you're gonna
Yeah, I
gather.
mean, I'm like an adventurer like you guys, like, but I have like a king that I serve, so like I go out and I adventure, and then I bring him all my stuff, and then he's
I see.
happy.
Okay. Well, maybe you can help us get to the surface, and then we can go our separate ways. Now that you've completed your task with us here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna lead you guys out, by Carpathia, and then I'm off on my next adventure. So yeah.
All right, that sounds good. It's good for both of us.
I believe at this point I will travel with the Dwaygar into the Underdark. I think that
Hmm.
I
Would
have to go in a different direction than where you're headed.
would Soulforge tell us about that before leaving? Like, would you?
Yeah, he just says it
Okay.
now. Yeah, he said that out loud.
Oh, you say that right now.
Yeah,
Okay. They go. Oh, you want to leave Soulforge?
I want to head east. I plan to reclaim the temple. From there, I don't know what I'll do, but I think I must head in that direction.
So metagaming a little bit. Do we know about the visions that Soulforge was getting about the comets?
he did tell us.
Yeah, he did the
Okay.
first night.
Okay. Well, Soulforged. I don't want to force you to stay with us. So if you feel like you're needed somewhere else, I mean, you can do what you need to do.
there's still a part of Logan that travels in me that wants to return home. So his story will be put to an end, and hopefully, I can help his people.
Logan will be a part of every story that we create. I will never, I will never lose his sword. It would always stay at my hip.
And if Soulforge doesn't know anything else to say at this point, he just kind of seems awkwardly silent.
Stares blankly into us. All right. Well, if Soulforge it wants to leave, then he can leave. It sucks to hear you leave so soon, Soulforge. But we met in strange circumstances, so I don't want to force you to stay with us.
I believe that you're destined to return to where you were, but I don't think I can travel to those places again.
Yes, and if we're meant to see each other again, I'm sure we'll cross paths.
Waterran has a different, would it be a feeling to me than what you perhaps are all having, especially Riggs.
We're not going to Waterran, though.
But we still have those feelings.
Yes, I imagine.
But yeah, I'm totally okay with that. We can lead you to the Dwarger on the way up if you want.
No, they're here. I think he's going with them.
Oh yeah. They were at the meeting. Yeah, you're right.
And we'll be able to travel invisibly, so we should be pretty safe.
Okay, let's hug it out, old buddy, before you go.
It gives you a really awkward hug, but it's like a one arm.
One arm, the awkward hug. And Riggs just wraps his arms around him and squeezes him. His metal.
I do wish that I could have enjoyed a drink again, but that was not to be.
Godspeed, my friend.
I'm gonna tousle his wig a little.
Electa will also hug Soulforge.
Now it's very awkward.
Yeah, so as all of the heroes, are awkwardly saying their, goodbyes to Soulforge, who feels, super awkward about all of this because, there is a part of Logan still in there, but like, also it's a lot of this emotionless, kind of, you know, Warforged, and so uh, it's a
Party
good,
has baggage. The party has baggage that he had to carry that he would like to lay down
yeah.
and continue on his life.
Yeah, and so, Soulforge just kind of awkwardly, begins to move away, and you guys watch as his form becomes, you know, one with
Into the
the.
shadows or invisible.
Yep.
Invisible's good. I've never used that spell. We didn't see that.
Yep. I was just gonna say that. I was gonna go with like blending into the shadows to like make it, like you were invisible, but either way, as his form fades away and eventually, all of them disappear into the vast darkness that permeates this place, you wonder if you're ever gonna see that, you know, construct again, or if this is the last time that Logan's name will be, spoken in your vicinity. And so, with those heavy thoughts on your mind, Goldrucky leads you guys not towards the darkness of the Underdark, like um, where Soulforge is headed, but up and up and up into the bracing air and the blinding light of the surface. And all of you reach a spot where a climb is necessary. And so we're all going to have to roll to try and climb out of here.
Just fly.
Can I just fly and carry people up one by one?
And my carpet.
That's not
Yes.
fun.
We have a lot of flying abilities. I think we could all.
You're
fly.
ruining the DM's fun. Come on.
No, it's
Riggs can climb. We'll let Sir Thomas climb, and if he falls, we'll be like, "Oh, that was a mistake."
no, it's all good. As you guys come to this, it's basically a cliff that rises straight up, and then on the top of the cliff is the opening to the cave uh, that this is. But then you're out onto the mountain from there, and so as Gold Rucky is preparing, climbing spikes and everything to like help you guys, Electo just kind of like busts out his carpet, and Arn, flexes his wings and gets everybody to the surface, quickly and without, incident. And Gold Rucky says, "Well, that was the fastest that trip has ever been made. Uh, you got it done in under 12 parsecs." And so, yeah,
That's a weird telling of time.
yeah. And so, as you guys, get up to the surface, um, Goldrucky says, "Well, now looking out over the valleys and hills, you can see uh, the the great city of Kiz over there, and there's Kastra, and you guys can see from the mountains, indeed, like the wisps of smoke coming off of the far mountain that is Kiz, and then the great rising spires of Kastra are like right before you, and so you can head uh, to the capital city, or you can head straight for Lady Angelica's ancestral home and try to ascertain, what's gone on there. Um, but yeah, what would you guys like?
I think we should head towards the capital city, since that's where most of her family was hiding. Like her oldest brothers were there, um, and then from there we can find out if Dragos is still alive and if Kiz held up.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys head for the capital, and Kastra is high up in the mountains and is built into the mountains. And as you guys um, make your way there, Goldrucky says, "Well, I'm off, this other direction to go deep into the vine run forests of Caledonia. I hear tell there's an ogre in those parts, and I'm gonna slay him."
Good luck. God bless you.
"Yes, gods
Have
go
fun,
with
man.
you as well."
And can I draw something on his shield?
Sure.
I draw the symbol of Torm on his shield, just like with paint, and I say, it'll keep you protected from me to you.
Thank you, Arn. I shall treasure the time that we had together always, as I will with all of you. And just know that all you have to do is, look up any gold mine and ask for gold drucky, and they will give you the hospitality that my clan is famous for.
It was nice knowing you, man.
Yes, you as well.
And I pat him on the back.
And then as he leaves, and you guys continue to climb up the mountain to the capital of Kastra, that is where we are going to have to draw to a close for this session, because we're going to do a whole thing on Dragos's family, but I wasn't sure, if we would get to this. And so um, there is going to be some combat, there's going to be a whole lot of role playing, an info dump, and then we're going to do a new hook to get you guys off into a different part of the world and doing something different. But I am going to need the time in between sessions here in order to set this all up in a satisfactory manner. And so, uh, with that, we draw to a close for this session of Dragons of Starfall. I want to thank you all for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good gaming.